Greetings, people of Earth, fellow Canadians, British Columbians, North Americans, all of you, really. Welcome. Welcome to my isolation chamber. Welcome to the machine. So, we are at COVID Chronicles 5. Today is March 21st, 2020. Let's take a brief look at where we are with the virus. All right, so worldwide, we're looking at 290,279 cases. Now, one of the things to watch for is how quickly this number doubles on a global scale, right? So 290,000, we're looking at about how many days will it take to get to 580,000? And I think the kind of the perceived rate at which it's doubling is every 6 days. So, you know what though? I think really you have to take numbers outside of China for this and just go with 200,000. So let's say there's 200,000 cases. So we should expect 490,000 in about 6 days. So we'll see where we're at March 27th. We'll take the numbers from China out, and we'll look at it from there. Closing in on 12,000 deaths, and I think it was just yesterday, we just reached 10,000. So that's, I mean, it's continuing to grow exponentially, right? Italy have not reported their new cases for the day. That will be this afternoon. We'll have those. I think they do that at the end of the day there. It's about 8 o'clock in the evening there, so probably be in another hour or two. Spain continuing to get a lot of new cases. Things are not looking good in Spain right now. The U.S. also, a lot of new cases. There's an entire family that's died in New Jersey, in the U.S. My sister lives in New York, and New York is now under lockdown. I guess the equivalent to martial law, with a few obvious differences. The military is obviously not in charge, but the governor has essentially ordered a statewide curfew. Let's continue to scroll down. The UK moving up quite rapidly as well. I have a comparison on the UK and Italy. Yeah, get lost, man. What the hell is this? I have a comparison with the UK and Italy, and if the UK, so far it looks like it's almost tracking at the same pace as Italy was, just about 2 weeks behind. And if that's the case, then we would probably expect to see over 200 deaths in the UK within the next, probably by this afternoon. I'm doing 2 of these COVID Chronicles a day, so we'll see. So yeah, continuing to grow exponentially. One of the things we're seeing locally in BC is BC is the leader among provinces for new cases and for deaths. A lot of deaths occurred at a retirement home, or I guess old age home, out in Lynn Valley, North Vancouver. And now there's a new case with a health worker in Coquitlam. And so the health workers are really, they're really, I hate to say it, guinea pigs in all of this. But we're going to see with them just how bad of an effect there can be with this disease. They're on the front lines, and they're getting a lot of credit for the hard work that they do, and rightfully so. But there's another group of people that are maybe equally important, and in some ways even more important, and that would be the retail workers. Grocery stores, they're dealing with a lot of people right now, a lot of people. They're dealing with everybody. They have no screening. Retail workers at liquor stores, grocery stores, like I said, are still open. Drive-throughs even are still open. And like, I mean, we can't shut all this down, or things will really start to get nutty. I think one thing I think that's very important for keeping places like liquor stores and gas stations and grocery stores open, well, aside from the obvious thing of food, is I think once that stuff closes, I think at that point you'll see a real breakdown of law and order. I think the social fabric starts to really fray. I think having those places open does allow people to keep a sense of normalcy, and as well as get some essentials, right? And groceries definitely are essentials. Vitamins and supplements have also been listed as essentials. So shout out to GNC. If anybody wants to get protein, I would say is a very important thing to buy right now. Anything with vitamin D in, anything that helps with sleep, anything with zinc, and anything with vitamin C. All of these things, even weight gainers, can be useful. All of these things are essential. GNC sells them as well, and you can do. They're doing curbside pickup, so you can make your order and they will come and bring it out to you. So that's great. That's a great development. Now, grocery stores. One thing I have seen with grocery stores, and maybe somebody can correct me if my logic is off on this, is they've reduced their hours. So almost all of them now are closed at 8 p.m., at least around my area. And it would seem to me that that would encourage more frantic buying. It would encourage a greater collection of people, more people congregating, shorter hours. Obviously, people have to cram it into that window. And I would think that would achieve the exact opposite. Now, I understand these people are being overworked. I understand that stock is an issue too. Maybe that's the biggest problem, that they just need those downtime, they just need those down hours to restock the shelves. But I really think that if you were to open grocery stores 24 hours, people could space out their shopping a lot more. We know there's a lot of people that are out of work right now. 500,000 people applied for employment insurance just in the last week. 500,000. To put that in perspective, they probably usually get around 20,000 applications a week. So the volume has increased by 20 times, and that's probably going to go up again. So there's a lot of people out of work. So grocery stores, there's employees available for them, and spreading out the hours like that would limit. I would be happy to go at midnight. I'd like doing that stuff. It'd probably be empty there, right? I don't want to go through these crowds. So we'll see. I mean, like I say, the shortening of hours seems to be the exact opposite of what should be done. But let's praise those people and express happiness that they're keeping their stores open. And like I said in a previous video, that certain things like toilet paper are going to be inelastic, and that people are only going to use so much. So if they hoard it, then it won't really matter. It'll create a spike, but then that spike will come down, right? Because you can only use it so fast, unless you get some kind of fetish and use toilet paper for other creative activities. I don't want to know. Let's not even go there, okay? But other products are not inelastic; they are elastic. So one thing we can expect is things like coffee to start selling a lot more, right? Those we're going to see shortages on, because the service industry is not selling that anymore except through takeout. What else? With restaurants shutting down, meat products are going to be scarce. Eggs are going to be scarce, of course. Stuff like milk probably as well. Cheese. Yeah, a lot of those things are going to start becoming scarce. So, and the thing that's interesting is grocery channels have a different distribution network than food channels do. Like they are, no, I don't want to say 100% separate, but by and large they're separate. Like if you have a grocery store, you'll get deliveries from bakers like McGavin's, Coke and Pepsi will supply those places directly. Other suppliers, there's a different network of suppliers. Whereas, restaurants, cafes, things like that, they will use like a third party wholesaler, like a company like Neptune Foods or Koenig's, stuff like that. So it's not just simply a case of if cafes and restaurants aren't getting stuff, all that stuff can be diverted over to grocery. It's not quite that way, right? They're different networks, different supply lines, so it kind of moves differently. So there's probably those places probably have an abundance of that kind of stuff. That's a positive way to look at it, right? But here's my suggestion. Either expand the hours that grocery stores will stay open, hire more people because you're going to be moving a lot more stuff, so it shouldn't be a question of budgeting. Or failing that, if things continue to deteriorate and contagion is the thing that we're worried about most, what I would suggest would be segmenting hours by, say, address, right? Say this street or this postal code can shop Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from say Monday 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., Wednesday 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., Friday 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., something like that, right? That way, the scope of the day is covered, and then different people are in there at different times, and that way, if there is any risk of contagion, you're segmenting people more by neighborhoods. So if there's a problem and there's a big outbreak, then you can deal with them, right? So I will leave it off there. Those are the updates on the numbers. Some of my thoughts on the retail workers. Retail workers are the unsung heroes here, okay? They're going out there, like I said, they're dealing with a lot of people, without really any, without a whole lot of safety measures in place for them. Let's be honest, right? And I think there's a few ideas. And I'm going to explore in the next video. I'm going to explore some other strategic ideas because we are seeing things advance. Newfoundland is not taking anybody from Canada now, so travel is completely restricted to Newfoundland. Not only are other countries not able to visit there, other provinces aren't able to visit there. And they're an island, so they kind of have an advantage in that respect. Northwest Territories is doing the same thing. I don't think they have a single case in the Northwest Territories yet. So they're probably taking the opportunity now to completely limit interprovincial travel, which I think is probably a good idea. We're going to want, if things progress, we're going to want safe zones, right? So that's it for today. I will see you this afternoon with more updates, more tips, and some strategic thinking on what we can do to limit the impact and get this dealt with more quickly. Goodbye.